So you want to travel around the world, but you're not sure that you can afford it. Well, my name's Christian. I've been traveling around the world for the last 2 years, and here's exactly how much I spend per month traveling the world. And I absolutely guarantee it is less than you think. So my number one cost while traveling around the world is accommodation. Right now, you can see we are in a Airbnb, actually quite a nice Airbnb, and we're in Romania. But I'm not always in Airbnbs. Actually, most of the time I'm in these things called hostels, which are basically traveler's hotel, but you don't get your private room. You actually share a room with other travelers. And if you've never done that, I understand that sounds like a wild concept. But on average, hostels are super inexpensive, with a nightly stay being anywhere from $10 to $15, or even in Vietnam where I stayed at places for $1. And Airbnbs such as this one come out to like $25 to $35 a night when you're traveling in Eastern Europe, South America, Southeast Asia, not Western Europe. And now you might be thinking about hotels. Well, honestly, I really don't stay in hotels. Sometimes in my videos, you do see that I'm in a hotel. That's only because I'm on a press trip, and that is always covered. To be honest, I really would never pay for a hotel. And the one main reason is this right here. I love to cook my own food. It saves me a ton of money while traveling, and hotels just don't offer that. So on average per month, I spend about $600 on accommodation, or rent as you call it, and it's less than what I was spending, significantly less than what I was spending when I was living back in the United States. I actually had a studio apartment about the size of this bedroom, and it was $2,000 a month. Yes, I said 2,000. Now, my number 2 biggest expense while traveling is food. Look, I absolutely love to eat, and I eat a lot of food, and that's why my food bill is $450 per month. And the craziest part is that's actually me trying to save on food. I use apps like Too Good To Go to get meals for cheap. I cook like I was explaining earlier. I travel with my own coffee. But I also like to go to restaurants, but I'll be 100% honest with you. I go onto Google Maps before I go to a restaurant. 1, I check out the reviews, and 2, I toggle it so it's the $1 sign. All around the world, I've had expensive food and I've had inexpensive food, and honestly, the difference to me is not worth the price. But let me know if I'm spending too much on food. I might be. Now, for the third thing that I spend money on, it is transportation, and that comes out to about $160 per month. This is including public transportation with the bus, the train, the metro, taking Uber sometimes, and even flights. One thing that is super foreign to us in the United States is flights under $20. Here in Europe, totally possible. You can literally fly to different countries for under $20. I'll put some on the screen now. Ryanair, Wizz Air, they're your absolute best friend. And this is totally depending on what I'm doing and what country I'm in. If I'm stationary in a city for a long time, I spend significantly less on transportation because I'm in the city, you know? Maybe I'll take the bus or I'll take the metro, where it only costs maybe 25 or 50 cents. Like today, after this video, I'm taking a cross-country train here in Romania, so that's gonna cost me anywhere from $5 to $15, whatever it is at the train station. And then yeah, if I end up taking a flight, it's a little more. That's why it averages out about $160 per month, or about $40 per week. And next up, we have experiences, because you are traveling the world. So you're gonna wanna do different experiences, like going for maybe hikes or going for tours, or maybe walking around the city, going to museums, activities. And with that, let me share you a couple secrets that will absolutely save you money anywhere in the world. Well, here in Europe, you're actually considered a youth up until the age of 26. So that basically means you get discounts for everything. Museums, attractions, monuments, it's all discounted because you're considered a youth. And also, whenever you're in a city that you have a lot of interest in, do these things called free walking tours. I say they're free because you don't have to pay anything up front. All you do is tip the guide depending on how valuable you thought the tour was. And that comes out to $240 per month on average. Next up, we have miscellaneous expenses like my hygiene, my Spotify, my cell phone bill, also my YouTube thumbnail editor, my editing software. Because you know, we all have those expenses that every single month that we have to pay, and I'm no different. I'm just a normal guy. That comes out to roughly $200 per month. Of course, if I'm putting out a lot of YouTube videos like I am right now, the YouTube thumbnail budget goes significantly higher. Thank you, Johnny Rockford. And that miscellaneous budget is gonna be completely different from everyone. If you're someone who needs all the streaming softwares, or you have a lot of makeup, or those costs are going to be completely different from mine. I think $200 for my miscellaneous expenses is pretty good. Also in there is my travel health insurance, which is only $24 per month. I know, I'm sorry, fellow Americans, it's actually that cheap when you go abroad and outside the US. And lastly, I don't know how proud I am to say this, but my last expense is partying. It's a completely different side of me that you guys don't see because I do pretty family-friendly oriented content, and I just don't think involving that part of my life in the videos is necessary. But I do go out pretty often, maybe 2-3 times per week, and collectively over the month, that cost me right about $200. Which is so crazy to say, because back when I lived in New York, one Uber ride could be $200. But it's really different, you know? One big thing that I learned after moving outside the US is literally everything, and I'm not even kidding, every single thing is less expensive. And there's also the options of like expensive, less expensive. I feel like in the US, it's just collectively everything's expensive. So travelers, the big question here is, what is my grand total? Well, if we tally up all the numbers, my monthly expenses come out to $1,850 for everything. Something that I tell people all the time is I spend less money traveling than I did just living in the United States. Actually, it's funny, if you remember my rent comment from earlier, I was spending more on rent in New York than I do my total expenses traveling. And maybe it's a little hard to believe, but trust me, this is after years and years of getting my budget correct. Look, I'm super strict on my budget. I know exactly what I spend money on, what I don't spend money on. One big thing about traveling is you don't spend money on things that you can't take with you. There's no expense that I have that is not value to me. I don't buy material things. I have 1 week's worth of clothes that I keep going over and over. I wash them, of course. But there's honestly just no material expenses. I don't even grab souvenirs. My souvenirs is I take money from every country. My own money, I don't steal the money. But travelers, that is going to be it for how much does it cost to backpack around the world. And of course, this is just an average, right? If I'm going to Southeast Asia or South America, this budget is gonna be even lower, and I'm very serious about that. But if I'm in Western Europe or I'm in Scandinavia, this budget is gonna be significantly higher. But in all seriousness, I do wanna say a big thank you to the Patreon, Facebook, and Instagram subscribers for making this travel around the world possible. And if you wanna support this journey, all of those links are down in the below. And also, I do want to thank all the people that donate during the live stream. You are a huge help. Any money from Patreon, Instagram, Facebook, it all goes right back into making these videos better, improving the quality, and improving the experience for our community. With that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in another video sometime soon. Bye-bye.